Hey everyone, let's take a look at what's really going on in the Bitcoin market right now. So, here's the thought. What if they're not trying to save the economy? What if they're actually crashing it on purpose? I know it sounds extreme, but stay with me because once you see the pattern, it's hard to unsee it. Price or up, wages are flat, rent insane, and every time people start to get a little breathing room, boom, another emergency, tariffs war, another rate hike, another rounds of inflation. Another reason you feel like no matter how hard you work, it's never enough. This isn't an accident. It's a setup. They want you exhausted, distracted, drowning in debt, bills. Because if you are too busy trying to survive, you never figure out what's really happening. Here's the truth most people missed. This economic destruction, it's not about fixing anything. It's about resetting the game. And when they reset it, you better believe it, you're not the one that's holding the controller. Let's break this down. When the system is dying, when the money is broken, the debt is unpayable, and the trust is gone, you have two options. Admit it's over and rebuild it from the scratch. Or keep it alive just long enough to transfer the remaining wealth to the top. Guess which path they chose? That's right, they are milking the system dry before the whole thing collapses. And here's where it gets dark. They know that after the collapse, the world still needs to run. People still needs to work. Good still needs to move. Service still needs to be done. But who's going to do it when the dollar isn't worth anything? Are you? Are you going to do it? But not for the dollars. You're going to work for Satoshis, the smallest units of Bitcoin. That's the new game they're setting up behind the scenes. Think about it. While they distract the masses with headlines, drama, and elections behind closed doors, they're buying up Bitcoin. They're setting up infrastructure. They're quietly preparing for a world where the old system is gone and a new one is run on code, math, and scarcity. And let me be clear, you're not supposed to be ready for that war. You're supposed to be broke, grateful for whatever scraps they give you, willing to trade your time, your energy, your freedom for just a handful of sats. It's not incompetent. It's not poor planning. It's strategic. They're crushing the middle class. They're inflating away savings. They're outsourcing jobs, jacking up interest rates, and drowning the world in debt. Because they know if you control the new money, you control the future. And right now, they're trying to make sure they own as much of the future as possible. Look around. BlackRock, Fidelity, sovereign wealth funds, nation, states, are lining up to buy Bitcoin. Not when it was $3,000, not even at $30,000 per coin. They're buying it at $110,000 right now. And they're still hungry. And here's the piece nobody's talking about. The people in charge, the old money, the old gatekeeper, the legacy institution, they hate letting go of power. They control the world for decades through fiats, debt, and inflation. And they will try to hold on as long as humanly possible. But now even they know it's over. They don't want to change, but they have no choice. The system they built is collapsing in real time. It can't be saved. It can't be patched. It's finished. So they're not transitioning. to the new systems because they believe in fairness. They're transitioning because it's the only ways to survive. And here's where it gets even more twisted. You probably heard about the debt ceiling, right? But do you know what happened when it hits it? Now, here's the kicker. When the debt ceiling hits, they can't borrow more. So Treasury resort to trick, delaying payments, one by one, juggling accounts, hoping nobody notices. That's called a technical default. Too messy to admit, but easier than saying we're broke. And when that's not enough, worst case, they print money. They'll buy their own bonds back. It keeps the show rolling, but it devalues your savings. You've been default on, just not in name. They call this monetary policy. I call it a financial gaslighting. Some are floating radical fix, turn debts into century-long bond, or force holders to swap into new paper, but Congress will fight that. They don't want a constitutional or legal firestorm. What's the current play? So instead, they're banking on a Pennsylvania plan, getting pension funds, banks, even stablecoin issuers to gobble up the debt. Same debt, different hands. And when all else fails, and don't forget the Fed, when the bonds market starts wobbling, they'll step in, buying treasuries to prop things up. It's the same playbook as COVID-era liquidity, but at a bigger scale. Now think about this. If they're willing to go this far, just to hold the illusions together, that happens. What happens when the illusions finally shattered? That's when everything's reprices. And it won't be in dollar. It'll be in Bitcoin. So how do you protect yourself? You stop thinking like a victim and start thinking like a builder. You don't wait for the media to tell you it's okay, it's safe to own Bitcoin. You start stacking one set at a time, a little here, a little there. Because once this new system is live, once the collapse is complete, you'll be glad you didn't. If you know ahead of time that they're going to crash the economy and you see where they're moving their money, then you have a rare opportunities that billions of others won't get. Use it because they're building a world where most people will work 10 times harder just to earn a fraction of what they used to. And guess what it'll be priced in? Not dollars, not euro, cents. And the people who's got in early, they won't be working for cents. They'll be living off them. The future belongs to those who pay attention early. You're one of them. Stack with purpose. And don't forget to hold it tight and stack it right. Take care, my friend.